Evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first Spurs Web show on our brand new YouTube channel. And joining us tonight is the hard as nails, no-nonsense centre-back, Spurs legend, Graham Roberts. So, Graham, it's so great to have you on our inaugural show. So thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
And how's lockdown 3.0 treating you so far?
Hard. Yeah, it was hard. But, you know, you just got to get on with it. And I think it's, you know, when you don't meet people and you don't do your jobs at the ground and things like that, you miss all that. But, no, you get on with it and work hard. I've been at a friend's house and I've decorated it and painted the whole house. And now she's just had some new carpets and flooring put down. So, yeah, it's good.
Who knew you were so handy with a paintbrush?
Don't forget, I came into football very late. I was a sort of painter, pipe fitter, anything you could do.
And of course, we know you have a huge focus on your charity work. You're always raising money, and the charity in particular is called Centre Algarve, which raises money for special needs kids, which is just so amazing. So obviously, because of lockdown, I know you usually do your trips to Portugal. So what's been going on with that, and what are you working on?
Anything really. We're just trying to get by, really, because it's been very hard. But you know, you don't get any help from the government, and you know it's difficult. But saying that, my boss, whose charity it is and I work for, he got an MBE from the Queen and for the charity work. So
wow,
I'm really pleased for him. And you know, he said it was for all of us, but you know, he's the one that came up with the idea, and so I'm just a sort of a back person. But it's you know, it's a really good charity, special needs children. You know, if we can get it going again, Harry Kane supports it quite a bit, and with his mum and dad, and you know, if we can get it going and have the dinner again that we have once a year at the Tottenham Stadium, and you know, we can start raising a lot more money.
Yeah, we just all need this whole situation to be over and everyone can get back to doing what they love and all the good work that you guys do as well. But anyway, moving on, let's talk Tottenham. And obviously we're coming off the back of a comfortable, dominant 3-1 win against Sheffield. Something we haven't said for quite a while, seeing the way we're playing, is attacking football. And there's always a lot of debate over that and the way we play under Jose. So what did you make of that game? Were you happy to see us go back to attacking ways?
Yeah, and I was trying to listen to what Harry Kane had to say after the game as well. And, you know, saying that Jose never ever tells him to defend. But I think when he makes substitutions, he seems to put a defensive player on for an attacking player. So that really, I suppose the boys then think, all right, we've got to hold on to what we've got. Yes, we know we're better when we attack. We have the power in the forward line, and you know, I thought Bergwijn played very well yesterday. I thought he was amazing, but I thought, you know, we looked a team again, and that was a difference. And you know, I think what we've got to do now is, you know, we've got to start having a go at teams. You know, we've got Wickham. I think he'll play a second string team against Wickham, because the following Thursday night we have Liverpool. So we have Liverpool. I think we have an away game. Is it Chelsea away on the Sunday?
They're coming thick and fast again.
Fast. I think we have. I think we got 5 games in 11 days. I think so. You know,
it's a lot, and
very tough.
This is the first week where we've had, you know, no midweek game for such a long time. And I think with us, it's always the case of we've got the attacking power, so why don't we use it? And especially, you know, when you look at how good Ndombele is playing in a little bit that further forward role, which we've seen him play. I mean, he was outstanding yesterday, and he completed in 90 minutes, which we don't see that often from him. I mean, how happy are you that we didn't sell him? Because it looked like he was going in the summer.
Well, I think he was unhappy last season, because, you know, Jose came in and he was in and out of the team. He played 50 minutes or 60 minutes and then he was off. And, you know, I would think that every player was like that, but he worked hard in the pre-season, the bit they had, and he looks a lot fitter now. But what a talent! You know, I'm really pleased he hasn't gone, because as soon as he came in, I thought he had some great ability, and you know, you need that kind of player in your team. And when you see him ghost part, he looks like Musa Dembele, doesn't he?
He does. He
you
looks.
know,
He
just
he's
goes
a
past people.
mixture.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
goes past people, and it's hard to get off the ball. And you know, yeah, I'm really pleased the way he's knuckled down, really, and thought, you know, to be honest, where would you want to go? Okay, you can say Manchester United and all those, but what a stadium, what a training facilities, you know, what a place to play your football. It's amazing, and you know, he could be a superstar. He could really, really be a superstar.
There's definitely something about him, which, like you said, Dembele-esque, just a little bit more attack-minded than him, and obviously can chip in with goals. But, you know, it could have been very different. We could have potentially lost him. And then we have to look at the Dele situation at the moment, because he wasn't in the squad. He's obviously unhappy. Jose's obviously given up on him. And it looks like he's on his way to PSG for a Pochettino reunion. How do you feel about that situation? Do you think it's the right decision to let Dele go? Should we be persevering, or is it just run its course?
I think there's been rumours around the training ground that Dele doesn't train properly, but for me, I think he's a fantastic player. I love him. I've always liked him since the first day he came into the team. I think he gives you a little bit extra because he's willing to run behind players when he plays in his right position. You know, I don't think Jose's ever played him. Oh, well, he did. He played against Bournemouth. I was watching a game the other day when Dele scored 2 goals, and you know, he played really, really well last season. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him, but you know, I don't think all the activities doing outside the football with all his agents and all this, you know, I think he needs to knuckle down. And last week against Marine, I know it was Marine, and I think I could have played in that game. I think he, you know, he was brilliant, but all of a sudden he gets taken off again. So obviously he doesn't figure in Jose's plans. So do we let him go? I would say, me personally, I would say to him, yes, you can go. You have to sign another year on your contract. We'll let you go for 6 months on loan, and then we'll take it from there. But you still have that extra year that you can, you know, get some more money out of him. So, but it's going to be difficult because, you know, Poch is after him. Do we?
But you can see why he's going to want to link up with them. I mean, he played his best football under Pochettino. Yeah. I mean, so for him, if he feels he's going to completely be out of favour, why would you want to sit there and warm the bench? You can go and have a fresh start. And I actually think that the Liga would actually suit his style of play. He's not, you know, he's not going to like have bursts of pace and things like that, but it's a league where I think that he could regain the confidence. So I personally would like a loan deal if he was supposed to go, to see if he can recover that, you know, the Dele we once knew.
Well, and another thing, Abby, is that do we know if Mourinho will be here in 2 years' time, or, you know, 18 months' time, or a year's time? We don't know. Football's a funny game, and if somebody else took over, they might want Dele back. So yes, for me, yes, if he's going to go out, he has to go out on loan. But saying that, we're in 3 cups and a league. We're fighting for the league. Do you want to let any players go out? If you do, then somebody's got to come in. So, you know, that's what the chairman's there for. He's got to, you know, okay, we can take, you know, so much money off of Paris Saint-Germain for a loan, and then we can go out and try to get somebody. But he has to replace anybody that leaves the football club. We have to replace, because we're just not strong enough all the way through.
Well, speaking of replacements, Christian Eriksen, who we never actually replaced, might just be replacing Christian Eriksen, which is just crazy. When you think of how many years of incredible service he gave to Tottenham, and the way it ended was a little bit sour in the last 18 months. And his heart obviously wasn't in it towards the end, but he's linked you know, every day at the minute with a return to Spurs. Should we be looking to bring him back?
Me personally, no, because I think he let the club down. I think he let the club down with the way his attitude. You know, he never gave 100%, and whether people say he did, he never, because that wasn't the Christian Eriksen that we knew. That was a great player, but you know, maybe he thought, you know, it was easier to go over there and play over there, and now he's not getting the game over there. So I think he actually thought he was going to go to Real Madrid, but it never happened.
But I would say, from, you know, trying to, you know, play devil's advocate, I'd say that we probably have missed him. I mean, there's not too many people that chip in with goals outside of Kane and Son, and there is quite a heavy reliance. But, you know, even when Eriksen wasn't at his best, and, you know, albeit we've seen him at his very best and seen him when he's giving half of that, he still did manage to contribute and come up with goals and assists, and, you know, he could always bring you something in the game. So why was it that we haven't replaced him? Because losing someone that was so key to us, it's just interesting that wasn't the first area we looked to strengthen in the summer.
Yeah. But I think when they brought Ndombele in, I think they thought he was going to get the goals, along with, you know, they never expected what's going to happen to Delhi. You know, we got Lo Celso. So, yeah, they've got players there that can do it. It's just playing them in their right positions. And, you know, the way Jose sets up, he sets up not to lose.
Yeah.
And, you know, he plays those two holding midfield players. We've got Harry Winks. Look at Harry Winks. Like, if I could have a chat with Harry Winks, then what I would say to him is, you know, yes, he's a brilliant player, and he will be a brilliant player, but he's got to stop having 80 touches of the ball in our own half.
Yeah.
You know, he passes it sideways, backwards, and you get the stats. Oh, Harry Winks had 80% of the ball. Yeah, but he never went over the halfway line.
Yeah.
So he's got to start looking to play the ball forward. When he first came into the team, I thought, we got a good, really good midfield player here. He looks forward. He looks for Harry Kane, Son. But when he gets the ball now, it's Dyer to him back to Dyer, him back to Winks back to Aurier, back to Vertonghen, and he doesn't pass the ball forward. So, you know, that's what's let him down. And
Do you think his decline? Well, not his decline, because I'm quite a big fan of Harry Winks. I think that I love players with passion who love the club. So I respect how much he does and how he Spurs through and through. But do you think that while he was obviously, when he broke into the team, he was playing alongside Moussa Dembele, and I mean anyone who was next to Moussa Dembele, he'd make everyone look good. Yeah. And you know, obviously after he left, you know, you saw him decline a little bit. Maybe he just didn't have as much confidence to, you know, pick the passes forward, because he felt that he had to do the more defensive duties once Dembele had left.
But when you're a midfield player, and like, okay, he's told to sit in front. Look at Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays forward balls. He'll get the ball off the back two, but he'll look forward for Ndombele or Son or Kane now coming deep. You know, he will. His first pass will be a forward pass. Winks, he gets it and he'll go backwards and square and sideways, and you know, and you're thinking, if he could look at Højbjerg and say, right, take his game, and Winks would be a better player than Højbjerg.
Yeah,
because he's got more mobile, I would think, but at the end of it, you know, Winks, he's got to do it himself. You know, but I can't believe that any of the coaches have not pulled him and shown him and said, this is what we want you to do. If you want to play in our team, this is what you've got to do. Surely somebody at the training ground has got, how many TV people they got there and watching training and watching games? You know, just show him a video and say, that's what we want you to do. You know, a year ago, 18 months ago, he was better than what he is now. You know, so he needs some help, but he needs somebody to put their arm around him and say, look, watch this, and this is what we want you to do. I'm not sure they do that in the ground. I think what they do, they get him out on a training pitch, and Jose does all these tactical genius things, but nobody ever pulls somebody and says, come and watch TV with me. This is what we want you to do. And it would improve it. 100%.
Well, I think it's a different. Jose is a totally different style of manager to what we've had before. You know, the last 5 years with Pochettino, very much a man manager. You know, had such a great relationship with all the players. So I guess it's an adjustment. Maybe they don't do that, but you know, we've seen it recently when in post-match when Jose says he doesn't ask the team to play that defensive style of football, like you touched on, Harry Kane saying, you know, we do that ourselves. So, but it surely is the manager's job to say what you want. And you know, when in the case of us playing so defensive, surely, you know, once we've seen how we've done it, you know, on 3 occasions that spring to mind this season, surely you would learn and think to yourself, okay, we don't have to play that way. So, you know, Winks must have had conversations about the way he's playing. He can't be happy always being left out of the team when, you know, for quite a period of time he was always in the sun.
Yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know. So I think it'd be a shame though to see him leave. I know that he's been linked with City and places like that. It wouldn't be great.
That won't be allowed. He won't be allowed to leave because he's a youngster. He's a big part of the Tottenham family and the Tottenham. The way we go about things, but it's down to Harry now to improve his game.
Yeah.
And the way me personally is, I think if he picked up a ball and his first look was forward instead of backwards and sideways, he would improve.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, you know, he's receiving balls and instead of playing a ball through the middle, he's playing it backwards. I watched Liverpool yesterday against Manchester United, and it was the most boring game I've ever watched in my life.
It really was.
Except for one player, Thiago. Every time he got a ball, he passed it, and he's an holding midfield player. He passed it and tried to open up the defence. He wasn't frightened to do it. And that's what Harry has to do. If he can get that into his game, he will be back in the team every week. There's no doubt about it.
Fingers crossed. We need more players that have that positivity moving the ball forward into attack. So, all right, let's talk about Gareth Bale, because it's a situation at the club I don't think any of us thought we would be in when we heard he was coming back. We all thought, great, Kane, Bale, Son, going to have the best attack in the league, going to be unbelievable. Even if you got, you know, a 70% Bale back. Yeah. But what has gone wrong? Because obviously we know he's injury prone. We knew that once he signed, he'd already come in with an injury. But he's been there, he's been fit. He doesn't really get minutes. He'd rather bring on, you know, yesterday we even saw Davinson Sanchez come on when Bale definitely could have come on for a runabout against Fulham. I fail to believe that Bale couldn't have an impact against Fulham in the last 20 minutes of the game. So why doesn't Jose fancy him? Because he's always wanted to sign him, and now he's got him. So what is it?
Well, there's nobody will know the answer, only Jose. But you know, when he signed, everybody was sort of wow,
elated.
Okay,
you know,
yeah, but he came, he wasn't fit. He wasn't fit. He missed pre-season, but he did a pre-season by himself with the people at the ground that, you know, do the fitness work. But you know, he came on against Brighton. He scored the winner. And everybody thought, oh, well, this is a start. But the way we started playing, I don't think Jose wants him in. He thinks he can do that. And I don't think Gareth's helped him. But like against Marine the other week, okay, he came on for 20, 25 minutes. But he didn't do anything. You know, if you're Gareth Bale, you've got to be running the show. He came on again. I'm trying to think who else he came on. Oh, he played against Stoke. He scored a great goal. Came off injured. You know, so he's got to get over that. I don't think he'll be here next year. I think, you know, I don't think the club will pay £250,000 to a player that's not going to be 100% fit.
And rightly so, in all honesty, because if you're going to spend that amount of wages, unfortunately, that's the case. And like, like I said, everyone was so elated when he came back. Like the prodigal son was returning home.
Yeah.
But even when he is fit, I don't think Jose trusts him to do the job he wants his players to do. You see him play Bergwijn because you know what you kind of get with him for the lack of attackingness that he gives to you, because he's forced to not play in that role. He'll track back for you. He'll, put his body on the line for you. And I don't appreciate the criticism he gets, because he's in there to do the job he's being told to do. And I think he does it very well. And then you have the case of Lucas Moura. And we all know, we'll forever be thankful for Lucas Moura in Amsterdam, but we all know he cannot pass to a white shirt. Yeah. So, but again, he's in the side to do the job, track back. And, he wins headers, he gets in the air and he can do that. But is that why he won't play Bale? Because he knows he won't do that defensive job?
Well, I think if you go back, when was Gareth here last? It was
8 years ago, nearly.
Yeah. So go back when he first came, and Gareth Bale was going to be sold by Harry Redknapp at one time because
I remember
we couldn't win a game.
Mm.
And he couldn't do the job that he was wanting to do. So as he got, I wouldn't have thought he'd have it in the back of his mind, but I think Gareth has to do it himself. He has to do what he plays with Wales.
Mm.
When he goes to Wales, he's relaxed and he plays and he does he works hard for Wales when he plays for them. So yeah, I've not got an issue with him with saying he won't do that job, because I think he will. But I don't think Jose thinks he's fit enough to do, but he's not going to get fit sitting on the bench and getting 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Exactly.
So that's why we got the FA Cup, we've got the League Cup, we've got the Europa League. And I think if we can, once the Europa League comes back in and he gets those games, you might see a different Gareth Bale.
You'd be hopeful, because also there's the case of Carlos Vinicius as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't really get any game time. It's difficult for someone to prove himself in such a difficult league when they only get Euro. And that's why he was brought in to take some of the burden off of Harry Kane and Son in the Europa League games. But sometimes I think I'd quite like to see us with him in the team as him, Kane and Son in a 3 up front, and see how attacking we could be if he's not going to play Bale. Because that's another one.
I don't think that he will get in front of Bergwijn or more Vinicius.
Yeah.
I think he scored a hat-trick last week. I think I was the last person to score a hat-trick from that far out. The first one was an inch, the second one was 2 inches, and the third one was a great goal. It was a great goal, the third one. So
doesn't matter how they go in, as long as they go in.
That's what I'm saying. So he looks a goal scorer. I've got to say, he does look a goal scorer. He's very young. So, whether they keep him on, I know he's on loan for a year. Whether they keep him next season, we'll have to wait and see. But no, he has a chance. But for Gareth, I think he just has to work hard in training. And, I think he'll play on Saturday or Sunday against Wycombe. Oh, no, it's Monday, sorry, isn't it? Against Wycombe. Yeah, Wycombe. I think he'll play in that one. I think he'll go back on the bench for the Liverpool game. And then we play Chelsea, West Brom and somebody else. So, it'd be I think Jose will have to play everybody, because you can't play, like they say, you can't play 5 games in 11 days with the same team.
And you know what? For once, we have a bit of squad depth. So we should utilise it. Absolutely utilise it.
Well, I remember playing 1980, I think it was 82, 83. And we played 11 games in 18 days. So
back in the good old days.
They got a bit of the cash.
All right, so let's discuss Tottenham and some of the games we've seen this season, capitulating, wanting to hold on to a 1-0 lead and just absolutely bottling it and losing games or drawing games when we shouldn't. Things like that. So
we would be 8 points clear now.
I know. Is it what? But what's causing it? Because is it a mentality thing? Is it defensive frailties? What is causing us to when we go 1-0 up and sitting back and playing that way?
Yeah, I've looked at games and West Ham game. Right, so we're 3-0 up, cruising. they score. And I turned around to my mate and I said, we'll draw this. He started laughing. He said, why? I said, because they're going to get a goal with about 5 minutes to go and we're going to panic. And I said, what's the problem we've got is we give too many silly free kicks away. And free kicks lead to goals and free kicks leads to penalties. And if you have a look, the Newcastle game, first game of the season, we gave a free kick away. Everton, header, goal. Newcastle, Andy Carroll, far post, Dyer, nowhere near him, turns his back, hits his arm, penalty. 2 goals. West Ham, last minute of the game, David Moyes brings on
Lanzini.
No, he brought on the lad that just gone Snodgrass. Says to Snodgrass, I can see it on TV. Go and stand in front of Aurier, get a free kick. He goes in front of Aurier. Aurier kicks him. The ball goes in, it comes back out, and Lanzini hits it into the top corner. Why do people in the training facilities not say to Aurier, don't tackle? Just stand up. Put your arm on him, just stand up, and you can see the ball. But he tries to win every ball, gives silly free kicks away, and I would say 85-90% of the goals that we've conceded in the last minutes and lost the games or drawn have come from his mistakes. And I cannot believe that they don't show people, why are you doing that? We got Ledley King in there now, and Ledley's a great defender. Show him what he's doing wrong, because if you don't, we're gonna how many penalties did he give away? The one against the other day against Leicester, there was no need to do anything. But that is just stupidity. That is. They go 1-0 up. You're chasing the game then.
But I just have to wonder, when we concede so many, I mean, pretty much we hardly concede from open play, and we know they all come from a set piece. How many times can we concede from a set piece without learning? Who does the blame lie with on that? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it both?
Both, because the coaching staff should be pulling those players, showing them what they're doing wrong. And then if that player does it wrong again, you ain't playing. I think that's what happened to Aurier when we played Leicester, because the next 2 games he never played. Yeah.
But then look at what happened. Look at what happened to Matt Doherty. He's come in. He came in effectively to take Aurier's spot, but has been that underwhelming and done stupid things that is actually, if anything, made Aurier come on.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that, are they being taught, or I don't know if you can teach players now how to defend, because they're on that much money. I don't think they listen, but I would hope that Ledley is doing his job, and saying to him, you don't have to win every ball, especially in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game, 4 minutes of a game. Just stand up, because if he's in front of you and you're behind him, he ain't going to score, is he? If he turns, you can tackle him. But if he don't turn, he's going to go back towards his own goal. But Aurier wants to win every ball, or he's caught out of position and he's chasing. And, I think he's played better this year, but I still think he's a liability, and he will cause us problems with giving free kicks and corners.
I still think that defensively we're not quite sure who the best partnership is. I mean, I've been really, really impressed with Joe Rodon every time I've seen him play.
He played well yesterday.
He's played really, really well as a proper defender. He's a defender who likes to defend, one of those old school ones.
Yep.
Who would be your first choice defensive partnership? Are you happy with Dyer and Toby?
Toby's always been my favourite defender. I think Toby, if he's in trouble, the ball goes in row Z. He don't take any chances. I think Eric Dyer takes too many chances. I think he's a good player. Yesterday, I'm shouting sort of second half, push up, because he's the one person that's dropping off, so everybody else drops off. and they all back up into our own half. If he pushes up 10, 15 yards, then we're a better team. And I think that's what lets him down at the moment. He's dropping off too far, especially second half, because he doesn't want to get caught with pace. But Joe Rodon got him out of jail a few times yesterday, and I thought he had a great game. And I don't think Sanchez is the full person. I think he comes in, he makes mistakes. So if you're playing a 2, I would go with probably, I would have to go with, at the moment, because I don't know if Toby's fit, I would go with Dyer and Rodon. But I would like to see Toby back in. I think he gives you that bit of composure and he knows how to defend. And, so Joe Rodon will be a good player, really, really good player.
Looks like he's going to be a really good signing. Let's go back to your playing days when football was a whole different ball game. Yes, we're going back that far, Graham. Short shorts, muddy boots, all that. Everyone who loved to get down with it and just have proper football get stuck in. And we know you loved a good tussle, took no nonsense and everything you did. Out of our current Spurs side, who would get in the team you played in?
Harry Kane, maybe.
Only Harry?
Yeah.
Not even Sonny?
Maybe, but we had Stevie Archibald, who was a great player. We played we played 2 strikers. So if you got Archibald and Kane up there, Tony Galvin, I don't think he could take his place. Odell, I don't think he could take his place.
no one could.
I don't think he could take his place. So unless he wants to play centre half with me, maybe he might get in Sonny. But no, I would say Harry for sure. I've got to say that the way we played, and we did play entertaining. We played a 4-4-3, whatever, 4-4-2, 4-3-3. But we played it with some great players. And I love Sonny. I think he's had a great season again, him and Harry. But I couldn't put Sonny in front of Archibald.
Who would you have liked to play with? Aside from Kane,
I'd like to play
with
them. I'd like to play with them. I'd like to play with Toby. I think Toby would be really good. Dele Alli, I love, and if I could play in midfield with him, he would have so much of the ball that I would just keep giving it to him, because I think the more you give him the ball, the better he is. And that's what I don't think the players do. When he does play, they don't give him the ball enough, because he loves to play with the football. When Gareth Bale was on his, Gareth Bale would get in any side when he was on his peak. But, I can't say there's many at the moment in that team that I'd like to, but Toby would be one. I'd love to have played with Toby. I think he's a great player. I think
you'd have made you made a very good partnership, the two of you at the back, very solid.
Yeah, and I think we don't take any prisoners. So, Toby don't take any prisoners. So, yeah, I would have enjoyed playing.
All right, so we're going to show you a few photos of you in your prime, and you need to walk us through what's going on in those pictures.
That was the cup final.
Tell us about it.
Cup final. I didn't know which ball I was going for.
All right.
That was just a late tackle. Charlie Nick.
This one.
Yeah. So Charlie was big time Charlie, wasn't he? He was Champagne Charlie. So it was icy, and I just gave him a little nudge. Well, not a little nudge, big nudge. And he went over the barriers, and I followed him in. But he went further than me. He went about 5 rows back up. So I said, "Welcome to the real world, Charlie." So
kind and fond memories of Charlie Nicholas on that one.
Yeah, that was a UEFA Cup goal. Special night that was. Really.
What did that mean to you to win the UEFA Cup?
It was probably the best game I ever played in. You know, and to be made captain and scored a goal and take the first penalty, yeah, it would probably be the best ever. But the major thing was to win it in front of your own crowd. You know, when you got 55, 60,000 people in there that night, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And when I scored, I thought the roof was going to come off the stadium. It was just noisy. But no, I was very, very proud that night. Very proud.
We need some silverware back desperately, don't we?
Yeah.
We've got a few questions. We've been doing hashtag Ask Robbo.
Yeah.
So here's one to tie into that from THSC James 2, who asked, what do you think has caused our initial trophy drought? Because we used to win trophies.
Yeah. Well, I think we went because we never had good enough players. I think the leagues are harder now. I think the cups, you know, we didn't, and I'm a big Potts fan, but he didn't take the FA Cup and the League Cup seriously, where Jose does. Jose takes every cup seriously. He plays a strong side. You know, last year we went out to Colchester United under Potts, and Harry was having his dinner in at home. He should, you know, Harry Kane should have been playing him for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, score 2 goals, get him off. But Potts didn't take the cup seriously. He only wanted the FA Cup, the league, or the European Cup, the Champions League. But you can't, as a manager, you can't do that. If you want to win trophies, you've got to take every cup. You know, but he never took it that seriously. So that's, you know, that was 5 years where we never took, you know, when we did get to a semi-final of the FA Cup, he played Vaughan instead of Lloris. He didn't.
Yeah.
You know, that's what let him down. Otherwise, Potts was a brilliant manager. But you have to take each. You play your best team, and you're in a semi-final. You're one game away from a cup final. You play your best team.
I think he was too loyal to some players.
I agree. But if you want to be successful, you have to play your best team, and that's it. You know.
And that's why he's at PSG. That's why he's at PSG now. He's going to go and win everything now. So
but it's a Mickey Mouse bloody league, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to win league after league after. You know, I'll tell you now, within 2 years, if he doesn't win the Champions League, he'll be out. Because that's what they want. They want somebody to win them the Champions League.
Yeah. He's got the resources to do it. So I guess we'll see.
You know, listen, I'm his biggest fan. I love him, and I think he's a brilliant person. That, you know, he knew who we were. He knew all the old players. He interacted with the old players. So yeah, I hope he does really, really well, and hopefully, you know, he can win the Champions League for them.
All right, we've got another question from @Flinny1984 who asked. Have I gone again?
You lot have lost. Well, you're like a Dalek.
Oh no! Can you hear me? But okay. All right. We've got another question from @Flinny1984 who asked, "What are your thoughts on ENIC and Levy in particular?"
For what they've done for the stadium, you know, is amazing. Did anybody think they would spend money this year and bring players in after the COVID, the new stadium? No. So, you know, Daniel Levy's not silly. You know, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to run a football club. Yes, we don't spend millions and millions like other teams, like Manchester United. But Manchester United revenue is a lot higher than what we get in. But, you know, I think they're spending now. Joe Lewis is not getting any younger, so maybe, you know, one day he might want to sell. But for what they give us, and, you know, the new stadium, the new training facilities, and now I think they're starting to spend a little bit more on players. So yeah, they're good. And no, I don't get paid by Tottenham. I only get paid when I work there, and I'm not contracted so people can forget that I'm up against Chelsea. All right, but I'm not. All right.
I think we know you're not. All right, and last question for the people that tweeted in from at DB, who said, "Have you seen any rising defenders in our youth team?"
To be honest, I watched them last year, and there was a few. I don't know. I can't name them. So I only used to go on the off chance, and but you got the lad. Is it Harvey White's just gone to Portsmouth? He's on loan. He's a good player. You got the young kid who came on Sunday and scored against Marine.
Yeah.
Is it Divine? Was his name?
Yeah. Yeah. It was Divine. I can't remember his first name.
Anyway, he's
Alfie. Alfie. That's his name.
He's a
Alfie
brilliant player. He's 16 years old.
Mm.
When have we ever played a 16-year-old in a game? Never. So yes, we have some good youngsters. The problem I have with the youngsters is they're playing in the under 23s.
Mm.
If you haven't made the first team by your 23, you ain't going to make it in Tottenham.
Yeah.
So, it used to be better when they had a first team, a reserves, and a youth team. So the youth team was 18. If they became 18, they either got a professional contract, they went into the reserves and tried to get into the first team. Now they play in the under 23s. They play in all these tournaments, but they're still not. You're not getting up to the first team level, so they're never going to be pushed to their limits, and that's that's where they've got to get to. But no, there's some decent youngsters, and I think they may lead the club, but we might not see the best of them at Tottenham. I think they might move on a bit.
Well, hopefully we'll see more of Dane Scarlett, because from when we've seen him, he's looking really promising. And also, don't forget Danny Rose. Danny Rose is also playing in the under 23. All right, before we let you leave, we're going to play a little game which is called "What's on Your Mind." So we're going to say a word, and whatever comes into your head, you just have to pick the first answer. Yeah, it's good.
It could be bleeps.
One of two ways. Very nice and simple. Jose Mourinho.
Say again.
Jose Mourinho.
Good manager.
Arsenal.
Crap.
Charlie Nicholas.
Awful.
Harry Kane.
Fantastic.
Carabao Cup winners.
Excellent.
You were supposed to say Tottenham on that one.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant we won it.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Unless you can see.
Go back.
All right. Okay. All right. Carabao Cup winners.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Great answer. I would have done the same answer myself. And one last one. Will Spurs finish above the Woolwich Arsenal for another season?
100%.
Great answer. And that's everything. So all I have left to do is say thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have enjoyed your very first appearance on the Spurs Web. And hopefully you'll come back again and we can have, we can all be at games together again very, very soon.
Yeah, pleasure. I really loved it. Really good job.
Good. So glad. And everyone else who's watching, the go-to for all your Spurs news and views is always at the Spurs Web. Please feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for next week's show, where we'll have another expert guest on with us. So hope you enjoyed the show and we'll see you next week.